The Epstein Files, an archive of secrets, money, and influence. The story of Jeffrey Epstein is not just a criminal case. It's a knot where power, money, sex scandals, and perhaps global influence are all intertwined. After his arrest and death in 2019, the world received only fragments of information, the so-called Epstein Files. But the more documents that surface, the more questions arise. Who was in Epstein's social circle? Why did he avoid serious punishment for years? And is there a hidden network of influence that goes far beyond just one person? Who is Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein started as a teacher without a degree, but quickly found himself in the world of elite finance. He managed the money of ultra-wealthy clients, though the transparency of his activities always raised questions. By the 2000s, he had become a figure surrounded by politicians, billionaires, and celebrities. Among his acquaintances were Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Prince Andrew. Importantly, having contacts doesn't mean involvement in crimes, but the scale of the connections became a key element of subsequent investigations. The first case and the strange leniency of the system. In 2008, Epstein reached a scandalous agreement with the prosecutor's office in Florida. Despite serious charges, he received an extremely lenient sentence. This agreement still raises questions today. Why were the federal charges dropped? Who made this decision and at what level? Why were the victims effectively excluded from the process? This episode became one of the main points where conspiracy theorists saw signs of a cover-up. The 2019 arrest and sudden death. In July 2019, Epstein was arrested again. It seemed that this time the investigation would go all the way, but on August 10th, he was found dead in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center. The official version is suicide. However, the coincidences sparked a wave of doubt. Surveillance cameras were not working, and the guards committed a breach of protocol. Epstein had previously made a suicide attempt. For many, this was a turning point. The case stopped being just criminal and turned into a global mystery. What are the Epstein Files? This term usually refers to a massive amount of documents related to the case. Court materials, contact lists, flight records, and witness testimony. One of the key elements was the so-called flight logs, the flight logs of Epstein's private jet. Epstein's private island, Little St. James, drew particular attention. According to victim testimony, underage girls were brought there. This very island became the symbol of the entire story, a place where power, money, and impunity reached their limits. Conspiracy theories go even further. They claim the island wasn't just a crime scene, but a tool to compromise influential people. The idea is simple and disturbing. If you have dirt on politicians and businessmen, you gain a lever of influence. Ghislaine Maxwell is a key figure. After Epstein's death, attention shifted to his inner circle, primarily Ghislaine Maxwell. In 2021, she was found guilty of recruiting underage girls. But even her trial left questions. Did she act alone? Why was the client list never officially disclosed? This is one of the most discussed aspects of the Epstein Files. Despite numerous leaks and court documents, the public never received a full list of those involved in the crimes. There are several theories. First, legal restrictions. Many documents are classified or partially redacted to protect witnesses. Second, lack of evidence. Contact with Epstein does not equal participation in crimes. Third, the conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theorists claim that revealing names could affect too many influential people. Even without conspiracy theories, there are facts in the case that are cause for concern. Long-term impunity. Epstein avoided serious consequences for years. Access to elites. His connections spanned politics, business, and media. Financial opacity. The source of his wealth is not entirely clear. Death before trial. The key figure did not testify. Epstein's story became the perfect breeding ground for conspiracy theories, the most popular versions. The existence of a global network of elites involved in crime, the use of blackmail for political influence, and interference in the investigation at the highest level. However, it's important to emphasize there's no direct evidence of a single conspiracy. The Epstein case became a symbol of the broader problem of inequality before the law. When ordinary people see wealth, connections, and lenient punishment, they feel the rules don't apply to everyone equally. The Epstein files are not a single document or a single story. It's a fragmented mirror of a system where power, money, and human lives intersect. The truth likely lies between two extremes. On one hand, real crimes and systemic failures. On the other, hypotheses of a global conspiracy. But as long as there are sealed documents, unanswered questions, and missing witnesses, this story will live on as one of the most disturbing investigations of the 21st century. And the main question remains open. How many more names are hidden in these files, and will they ever be named? Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful to you, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think in the comments.